This is more what I would expect from 11 o'clock. We just pulled into the house after a long day of band competition and parade, and did a little work at the office. Yeah, I did get a little bit done in between everything. I'm trying to decide whether I want to do the rabbits tonight or whether I want to get up in the morning and do them. I just don't know. I pulled up some more pictures from 2017, but in December. And in December we did some things. Since the baby bunnies were too young to breed, I asked somebody to breed a doe before I brought it home because I didn't want another buck and us still not sure if this is what we wanted to do, because of course the starter 6 were trial rabbits, just to make sure that we did want to stick with rabbits as a small animal for our farm. We were pretty sure we were going to do some sheep, but rabbits were still kind of iffy, so we were still testing things out. Got Einstein, and she was a full-blood lionhead, bred to a full-blooded lionhead buck, named Buck. So their babies were full-blooded, double-maned lionheads, unlike my starter 6 who were only half lionhead. A lot of times with your single mane gene, if you only get one mane gene in a rabbit, a lot of times that fluff will disappear after they get about breeding age, a little bit older, whereas the double manes will keep that fluff their whole lives. And we also got some more Holland Lops because I just thought they were so sweet, and they are. They're super sweet. They're great rabbits. So we got some smoke pearl rabbits, 2 sisters named Hugs and Kisses, and a boy named Gizmo, another smoke pearl. And they actually came from the same rabbitry, Parker Farms, that we got Prince Arctic, who is our little white boy that went with Sora. And maybe next episode I'll get into the saga of Sora. But I did find a little video that I did in 2017 with a lot of the pictures that I was going to put in this video. I was like, I already made a video. I'll stick that in here at the end and use that as our go out. I'm still not sure if I'm going to do the rabbits tonight or not. Might do the garage rabbits. Oh, the rabbitry originally started in our basement, but we eventually, not too long after we got them, we started moving them out. We had to decide whether we wanted to get heated water bottles or do something else for the water bottles during the winter. Discovered that there's such a thing as Kevlar sleeves for handling rabbits, and since my daughter Faithlin was going to be helping me handle the rabbits, I got some sleeves for us. And not only did I get them for us here for the rabbitry, but I also got some for the office for handling cats, just because it doesn't help with a puncture wound, so it won't keep them from digging their nail into you, but it will keep them from digging their nail in and then pulling all the skin off of your arm with that nail, because it stops. It does not tear. I haven't had any holes show up in any of these gloves since I got them in 2017, so I'm really happy with the Kevlar gloves. Just went on Amazon.com, and they also have gloves that look like gloves for winter, and then they have sleeves in various kinds. I got the kind with no fingers, so your thumb sticks out one hole and then it covers your palm, but it doesn't cover your fingers. Picking up rabbits without being able to feel them is sometimes tricky, and your fingers are a little bit more sticky than a glove, and I was afraid I might drop a rabbit if I tried to pick it up and wasn't able to feel it. So sometimes I'll wear one glove over a sleeve and then just have the other sleeve on where my fingers are out, especially if I usually use that hand to grab up around the head, and I use the full-on glove for the feet. And sometimes I'm too lazy to put them on at all, and I just end up bloody. even with the babies, they've just got such tiny, if you ever had a kitten or a tiny puppy, they just have such sharp little nails. And of course, they're not like cats, they can't pull them in. They just, that's their defense, their prey. So why would they want to pull in their defense? It's just something to think about if you're going to be handling rabbits a lot. Some kind of protection. Wear sleeves, wear gloves, wear something. There are some great gloves that we actually use a lot when we're catching sheep. They're just work gloves, but they're the rubberized fingers, and they will grip a rabbit or a sheep, and they just hang on. It's really amazing. I love those gloves, but they're super, super thick, so I don't typically use them a lot with the rabbits just because it's harder for fine motor skills with them. For sheep, they are fabulous, and I get those at Lowe's. They're just rubberized gloves they have a fabric around the wrist. We made a rabbit tractor. We used it for quite a while. It's long. It's kind of shaped like a tent, like a Boy Scout tent. A 1 by 1/2 inch hardware cloth on 2 sides that meet up at the top, and then had like a 2 by 4 hardware cloth on the bottom so that they could hop, but if I decided to pick up the thing, then it was harder for them to just hop under it and escape, because there was actually wire there, and it kept them from digging so much. If I left them in one spot for a little while, there was enough wire to keep them from digging out. Probably 8 feet long, and I put a door at either end because I knew it would be really hard. I basically just cut all the way from the top to the bottom, and then used a staple gun and stapled a thin piece of wood to the edge so that it would give it a little bit of stability and something to grab so that the metal wouldn't be so sharp. And then I just used a whole bunch of cage clasps and rings and carabiner clips, and just closed that back up. The thing I didn't like about it was that since I only had the 1/2 inch by 1 inch hardware cloth around all the sides, including the ends, it was really hard to stick a water bottle through the holes because they're just a little smaller than the nipples on the water bottles that we use. So I really had to cram them in there, and usually ended up with more of a circle instead of a square or a rectangle around those, because they were just hard to cram in there. I just keep using the same place that I squashed it in. It was about time to start looking for nest boxes. Decided not to go with the store-bought nest boxes. I went and got some totes that were made for a pair of shoes, and just filled that up with hay and straw and whatever Mama Rabbit seemed to like. And those were great, as long as they're kind of full, because Mama Rabbits, they just kind of hop over. Like dogs and cats, you would expect them to kind of step on the edge and tip it, but Mama Rabbits, they just go boing, and I never had any tipping of the tubs unless they were empty. I've also cut holes in them, rabbit-sized holes, and turned them upside down to give a little bit more cage space and somewhere to play. Cut like 3 holes in different places, and then turned them upside down so that some rabbits could sit on top and some rabbits could sit underneath. And those work for a little while until the rabbits decide they're going to flip them over, and then they just poop and pee in them and make a big mess. They work for a little while while the babies are pretty small. They'll hop around in there, and then Mom can get away from sitting up on top of it. I'm going to have to cut a lot of this video out, and or split it in half or something, because this is a rambly day.